Have you ever heard people say, oh, this generation, they're so open. They don't care if you're gay or straight or trans or whatever. It's just a matter of time to let all those backward people die off. Yeah, not so much. Heterosexism, the privileging of heterosexuality, is bigger than just name calling or not being open. 9-year-old Jamel Myles came out to his classmates and was bullied and told, go kill yourself. And he committed suicide in 2018. If these kids are so open, he would have been accepted, not bullied. Hatefulness is still in full effect. One of my kids came to me the other week and said, Mom, there's a lot of homophobia going on at school. When someone says or does something that gets labeled as gay, people say, hey, fag bag, get away from me, and they call them fruity or rainbow. So we had to sit and have a conversation. I said, okay, I'm glad you're telling me this. I really hope you're not a part of this and not joining in. And I talked with him about the fact that that's not what our family stands for, and reminded him of the people in our family and our friend circle who identify as LGBTQ and who we love, and that I expected him not to be a part of that homophobia. I think he heard me, but not much beyond a mom giving their kid a speech. And then I realized I totally missed the mark. I came back a few days later to make it clear to him the bigger picture, that it's not just about him not joining and not being a jerk. Heterosexism is an oppressive system, and that people have and are losing their lives for being LGBTQ. And I needed him to see that bigger picture. I talked about same-sex couples being kept apart from each other in the hospital because of a spouses only rule. I talked to him about tax breaks that only married people could get. And yes, those laws have changed, but only recently. I talked to him about how people who identify as trans often don't get proper medical care, or sometimes denied care or shunned, or have to jump through tons of ridiculous hoops just to get the care that they want. I said to him, when you're making fun of people who are gay or standing silent when other people do, you're supporting that mindset that allowed those laws to be in place until 2015, and that mindset that's still alive today. There are still states where people can be fired for their sexual orientation or their gender identity, and we live in one. And there are plenty of places that have written into their policy or just in their practice that they don't welcome or they don't serve people who are LGBTQ. The system is set up to privilege heterosexual people, couples, and families like ours. So I need you to get that when people say things and are making fun of being LGBTQ, that it's like supporting that mindset and moving us backwards rather than pushing us forward, because we're in the midst of trying to change things. I told him that it's not okay to just be okay with things because it's the status quo or it's the way it's always been. That I need him to be a part of creating a more equitable society. I gave him a few suggestions, but also invited him to think about what that would look like. 1, stop engaging in jokes that put other people down. 2, be on the lookout for policies, norms, and practices that privilege people or couples or families that are heterosexual. And 3, what would it look like for the school to be affirming of LGBTQ folks rather than just unaccepting of hate? He didn't have any answers in that moment, and that's fine. I told him that we would revisit. I want him to see his role in this larger system of inequity and how he can leverage his privilege to build equity. So that's my latest attempt at raising equity. What did I miss? What would you have added? How are you helping kids be accountable for their actions and seeing themselves in the larger systems? Share in the comments as we work together to raise equity. Want to raise kids to fight racism, but you don't know how? Click on the link in the comments and join me in raising equity.